Okay, so 1 sec here. Let's just finish setting up the overlay. Again, if you're new to Game Heart or it's your first time seeing this overlay, down here in the lower left, the best of is always displayed combined with the score. It is the semifinals of the Love Your Girlfriend 8-man Invitational Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today as we continue through the cast. Currently tied up now 1-1 in this half of the semifinals. We will be casting the other one afterwards. I'm actually going to check real quick to see what the update from there is. It's going to be Stun. Stun actually managed to beat out Select 2-1 in the end, so congrats to him. So it'll be Jon Snow, versus Stun in the other semifinals immediately after this game is finished. But for now, we see who moves on to the finals, where best of 5 will be played out. In the lower left corner of the map, it's gonna be the player from IVD. Oh, the hiccup hurt. You guys ever get that? That one that like really hurts? I'm sorry, one sec. His opponent will, the player in the lower left corner of the map will be from IVD Gaming, Ivy Trip, the Red Protoss player Puck. And his opponent in the upper right from Love Your Girlfriend. A lot of sexy play in that last game. It's going to be the blue Terran player Cmotok. Oh god, that hurt. That felt like I just got stabbed in the chest. Hiccup's going to be a real scumbag thing to have. At any rate, I do see a lot of you guys asking where's Zombie Grub today. Zombie Grub, of course, played in the Ladies of the Swarm tournament this morning. She actually made it to the semifinals and then had to go out for the day afterwards. So it's not that she hates you guys. Again, Zombie Grub has a life, if you can believe it. And unfortunately, or fortunately for you guys, I don't, so I can cast a lot of StarCraft 2 and keep bringing you games in series and tournaments like this. Now, of course, Love Your Girlfriend, guys, a big shout out to them. They're the ones who put the money together for the prize pool. This is by no means their way of saying, like, look, we aren't a scam team, please believe us. But it's a way of saying, like, look, we want to have a positive impact on the community. We want to try and get something going where we can get some good players, some great matches, and put some of our own players to introduce themselves to the world. Because, again, a lot of people know Genius, a lot of people know Tassadar, but Cmotok, Nage, Stun, these are the players that you haven't really heard of as much. Well, people know Cmotok, but more from when he was on Clarity Gaming. So it's a good way for Love Your Girlfriend to introduce their players to the world. Everyone gets to see that we'll get some good games for it, too. Unfortunately, Fear Dragon lagging a little bit here. So hopefully he can stick around and not get lagged out. But yeah, again, they put the money up for this tournament, guys. I staked my name on it because I trust their team manager. It's just so unfortunate that they've gotten a bad reputation from trolls and idiots on Reddit. But Love Your Girlfriend, they've already paid the money for this tournament. So fear not, guys. As soon as people are done playing today, they get paid out. There's $75 for first place, $25 for second, $100 for an 8-man invitational. It's pretty awesome. And Scope Rings working on the rocks for now. Cmotok, again, I gotta applaud him. Game 1, if you guys missed it, he went for some really weird tactics that didn't pan out in the end. As we saw with much more standard play on Heavy Rain, he was able to take a much more decisive game number 2. And we'll see if he decides to play safe rather than sorry here in number 3. Of course, versus a player of Puck's caliber, you can never really go into this game with one build in mind and say, like, look, I'm gonna do, like, this one particular expansion, and there's no way anyone's gonna change my mind, and it'll work or it won't. Against a player like Puck, you have to adapt. You have to keep in mind, like, these are two really, really high-quality players. And, of course, Puck, one of the better North Americaners, multiple times in Premier League for WCS. And, of course, really nice guy overall. It's not going to be the easiest game for Cmotok to close out. And for Puck, too, it's not going to be the easiest 2-1 for him either. Let's not forget Puck's biggest weakness at the moment, he claims, is his TVP. I think he plays a little bit better than he thinks he does, but for now, not going to get a lot done with this Mothership Core. Does have to be careful. With that really nice range bonus to its vision at the moment, it will eventually be nerfed in the coming patch, but for now, it gets a lot of vision off of this. Oh, he's got to be so careful. I don't know what he's doing here with this Mothership Core. He's asking for so much trouble trying to draw the Marines away, but typically you do this if there's something coming out, like, you know, towards the natural, if there's stalkers coming through, if there's a zealot follow-up, but with neither being the case, the Mothership Core just takes a bit of pepper and doesn't get a lot done for it. SCV does die trying to scout into the base of Puck, so unfortunately Cmotok, he sees the expansion, but that's about it. This is nothing too telling either. He has not seen the Stargate, worth noting, but of course, Oracle now going to be revealed what the hell he's being here. Oracle might be a good way to deal with this. Stalkers can deal with these as well, but of course, Puck once again going to take the mining to his main for the time being and keep it safe rather than sorry. I don't really know how much damage this Oracle is going to get done, though, coming into the base of Cmotok. You already saw that there was Marines out for this. Like 6 Marines in total, so there's more than enough. Combined with this Widow Mine, kind of hiding in the mineral lines there. Puck is going to be driven off for now. Might go to the natural instead, but there's a Widow Mine over there too. And let's not forget, guys, a Widow Mine can one-shot an Oracle, so has to be careful. Does manage to dodge past everything. Oh man, someone in chat bringing this up. Oh, double cancel on the refineries there. Perhaps a bit of a panic moment. This tournament should have been held yesterday because then it would have been on Valentine's Day for Love Your Girlfriend. I should have absolutely suggested that to the team manager, and I accept full responsibility for the negligence. But in all seriousness, Cmotok holds on against this. He doesn't really lose much. Puck trying to pull back from this. Will catch the medevac accidentally and awkwardly, but now he knows the drop's coming. With 2 Oracles, he can take on this Marine count actually pretty easily. Oh, but picks up immediately. For those who don't understand how clutch that was, Oracles, as we know, have like a point-something attack speed. So Cmotok had to pick up those Marines in like less than a second, literally, to keep them alive versus both of those Oracles. But unfortunately, coming out one at a time like that loses a couple Marines, and the Oracle's still alive. Now, what's fantastic about the Oracles is not only do they present a constant and consistent threat to your opponent's mineral lines, but they also have the ability to envision. You can try and tag your opponent, make sure that they're revealed at all times, and you'll be able to see where the medevacs go. You'll be able to see where the army's positioned, and allow yourself to adjust accordingly. Now, again, with the tanks and the Raven coming out of Cmotok, this was a build that's did not really work for him in game number 1. I thought it was really cool that he went for it, but a big part of why it didn't work was because of how badly Puck was able to really shut him down after that huge gas and mineral investment in the Banshees combined with Cloak on Polar Knight. This time, Cmotok has not wasted any money on Cloak or Banshees, but instead just dealing with these Oracles annoyingly. Or these annoying Oracles, I should say. Sorry, I was thinking about like, wait, I think I said that completely wrong, but tearing down these rocks is always a little bit bold. You always, of course, can try and get a wall up as a Terran player, but the last thing you want to do is find out your opponent was like 9-gating behind this, and you've just opened up a giant way for them to get into your base. But Puck, of course, not going for a 9-gate or anything quite so insane. Has a couple gateways coming down now, but charge lots, armor, storm. He's got the standard way to play this. This is how we've seen most TVPs open, where you go for the Oracle, follow up with charge, follow up with a +1, get the +2, try and hit that storm timing before your opponent has any ghost or anything to deal with it out. But interestingly enough, the tanks will serve that role. Kind of the same way tanks doing out Infestors and ZVT. They'll be able to keep the Templars back for a little bit, but Blue Flame coming out of Cmotok, he's going full on mech, guys. He's shown a lot of Marines, and it kind of looks like he was playing Bio to start this, but full on mech is a bit interesting to see. It's become a lot more effective. Significantly more effective, and I want to explain this a little bit more, so I was taking a breather there, but ooh, lose the medevac, a big loss there. Marine's gonna die within these time warps. Catches one of the sentries, a bit of a consolation prize, but Cmotok not gonna get a lot more done here. Keeping these Marines alive was actually really important. This was his map presence. This was, you know, dropping the third, dropping the natural, keeping Puck from moving across the map anytime soon, because when you go for mech, your production is gonna be crap. Now, to talk specifically about why this is going to be good, already let's ignore anything that's changed recently in the game. Blue Flame shreds Zealots. You got Hellbats. That splash cone they have is fantastic. You got Tank Fire to deal with Stalkers behind us. The problem, though, has always remained Storms don't do a lot of damage, but they still hit really darn hard. Everything can take a Storm hit. Hellbats have like 135 health. Storm hits for like 80. Tanks have like 150 health or something, 160, sorry. Storm hits for 80. So Storm's not nearly as effective against this composition, and the charge lots are just going to get melted before they can get a lot of damage done. They will literally be charging to their deaths. But the most recent change in StarCraft 2 was that Ghosts no longer need to research Mobius Reactor. So with that bonus, the EMP ready to go right off the bat, it's going to be a lot easier for Cmotok to take care of the one unit that countered mech. So for those who don't know, by the way, Immortals. Just Immortals. You literally don't need anything else. With purely Immortals, you can break a lot of mech compositions. Some players will go as far as to get Tempest out later on, but that's beside the point. For now, we're going to have Archons, Zealots, Stalkers. This is your typical anti-T build, but unfortunately, he's not exactly gearing up for defending it or taking on mech. But now with these extra 2 Robos coming down and finishing up in a moment, he's going to have 3 Immortals pumping at a time. Cmotok is going to find it very difficult to get any damage done versus those Hardened Shields. Hardened Shields is a very unique mechanic, by the way, and it's worth noting sentries. I didn't know this till recently. If you hallucinate Immortals, the hallucinated Immortals also get the Hardened Shield effect. And what this does, any damage that exceeds 10 damage is brought down to 10 damage. So if a siege tank were to hit you for 1,000,000, it would only do 1 damage to you. Or sorry, 10 damage to you. So that's the benefit of the shields. But if you go for EMPs, if you go for Widow Mines, these are units that have a lot of spells, or sorry, not EMPs. If you go for Ghosts and you go for Widow Mines, these are spell effect units that will they instantaneously take out the shield. So if the Immortals don't have those shields to protect them, they're just like tanks where they do a lot of damage, but they also go down very quickly. Now Cmotok is trying to do a bit of damage here, but unfortunately the cannon will hold this off quite nicely. The Raven out is going to provide a little bit of point defense drone coverage from Stalkers, so no advanced blinking forward, but realistically, the Seeker Missile may be a little bit better in this scenario. Again, another unit that casts spells. Seeker Missiles will bypass that Hardened Shield effect, but Puck has a lot of Archons, Zealots, combined with the Immortals. It's going to be very difficult to take on this army outright from Cmotok, because let's not forget, Hellbats, well, they do take the bonus damage versus Archons. A lot of people don't know this. They are considered biological and mechanical, as we see displayed down here. So they will take the bonus damage from the Archons combined with the splash, but Hellbats also hit really damn hard themselves, even against non-light units. 20 damage in a huge cone in front of them. I shouldn't say huge, more like a wide cone in front of them. Some Siege Tank Fire going to add a little bit to this. Of course, engaging a little bit too far away for the time being. Doesn't want to give all his Hellbats away immediately, but the tanks are spread out really nicely, and the Immortals are going to try and come in here. If the Zealots get cleaned up, there's no more buffer, and it's going to allow the Siege Tanks to go ham on the Immortals, but unfortunately, just coming up here on the top of the ramp, the Immortals will take out 2 or 3 of these tanks immediately. And from, like, the conception of Immortals, guys, they're made to be counter-tank units. And they provide their goal quite nicely. We got some time warps going down. Going to keep the SCVs from pulling into this too easily, but looks like Cmotok is getting desperate already. Down to 33 SCVs, 29 SCVs compared to the 70 of his opponents. He's going to be able to hold this on just barely, maybe? I don't know, it's going to be close. The EMPs from these Ghosts come out way too late. Cmotok needed these about 30 seconds ago. But because of this, Puck's able to just push on in, and Cmotok is struggling to stay in this game. The Immortal goes down, but the Archon goes down, but the Immortals are still strong behind this. The Vikings are oddly enough providing a lot of extra DPS to this. And the Hellbats, unfortunately, are just non-existent. He doesn't have the economy to pump out 20 of them like he needs. Cmotok is not looking too good. The mech composition is a great one if you can get away with it, but unfortunately, not able to get away with it. Puck has done a little too much damage here, economically on top of everything else. Ghosts are coming out, but Ghosts are too late, I feel. Now, there's actually a number of tanks you can get, upwards of, I think it's 15. Where they kind of negate the Hardened Shield effect because the splash damage will tear it down immediately, but we're not going to have 15 tanks anytime soon. This Ghost can't EMP again in any relative time. Zealots charging in are going to get destroyed by the Hellbats, but I don't think the tanks can hold this. There's too many Immortals behind. There's 4 Immortals in these Archons. As we see, just shredding the tanks, one-shotting them like they're nothing. Puck with the 1.4 attack speed compared to like the 3 or 4 from the tanks will win the game 2-1 in the semifinals and go wait in the finals for his opponent, who will be either Stun or Jon Snow, depending.